Shenzhen is in a very subtropical maritime climate with plenty of rain and sunshine throughout the summer. Now, I can testify that the summers are blazingly hot, but what's truly shocking is that this season can last up to 6 months.
And this is why the city can sometimes feel a little bit quiet during the day, because people like me can't quite handle the climate, but at night is when life truly begins.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Intel Extreme Masters in Shenzhen. Of course, the first stop in Season 10, and we're one step closer to finding out who's going to be that first champion in Season 10. It's pretty exciting. Wow.
Well, I guess you have to make an appearance one way or the other.
Has to go.
Eat that, Honka.
Artosis, how do you feel about earning that title? Because that... well, he's got something to say about everyone.
Oh god,
Pig smiles too much.
I'm not ready for this.
Well, that's true.
Ladies, keep note.
That is true. Come on, what's wrong?
Oh, yeah,
that is true. He does like
right.
Ajax.
Okay,
that's all right.
We can cut it right there. I mean, Carmack.
I see who typed this in, Chobra.
Chobra, did you do this?
Hey, we just invited him, all right? He just really wanted to be here. Good old Carmack going crazy. Can't have an Intel Extreme Masters without Carmack.
Certainly not.
Well,
now that we know that Chobra pulls the strings when Carmack isn't around.
is the secret out? I mean, we don't know yet, right? Maybe
superior human being.
Maybe that's just a fact.
Some high praise.
I mean, there's no way that Chobra knows about Dutch football teams, so he didn't write that.
Well, he asked for some help. I gave it to him, Roddy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know you like Ajax. You went to watch him recently, right?
Ajax. Wow, I've never heard
Isn't
anyone...
that a sink cleaning product?
Yes!
Yeah, that's
my man! That's all it is. That's all it will ever
I
be.
like to have a clean sink.
No,
this is how we know we're American.
I don't care, though, if it's Ajax or some other...
Isn't it called Ajax, Roddy, or is it
Ajax.
Wait, is it really?
Ajax.
Because it is Ajax.
Yeah,
when it's
J's are Y's and Y's are J's in the Nordic region.
All right, guys. You guys are correcting me right now on the name of a Dutch football team. Like, all right, the American and the Brit. It's like, all right, guys. You know it's better.
That's how the Americans roll. But
the Queen's English.
The Queen's English and the President's
American.
Yes. All right, now that we've cleared that all out, we've got a little bit of a trivia for all of you guys about all of us. Very important facts, I might add. Facts. Let's make that very clear. We do have to go to the bottom half of the round of 8, which, you know, to a lot of fans in the West, probably a bit more exciting. Of course, a little bit more investment. We have Youth Thermal and Snute in the bottom half, and they're not playing each other yet, so we could have, I mean, we've been mentioning an all-European semifinal. That's pretty exciting.
That would be pretty awesome. You know the best part of that? That means we get a European in the finals.
Exactly.
Because one of them has to win.
They have to.
They have to.
Yeah, they can't tie like 5 maps in a row. That's not happening. I love how Apollo brought this up. The first thing that he said today was like, we could have an all-European semifinal. And every time I bring it up, he's like, well, yeah. I don't know if we can get it.
I don't know, Chobra. That is very true.
It only sounds right if I say it. When you say it, I can't believe it. I can believe what I say.
All right. Well, now on the main stage, we will have, of course, Snute playing, and everyone's been talking about the miracle story that he made happen in Group B. Going out, not just moving on to the quarterfinals, which in and of itself would have been impressive, but taking down the reigning champions in Korea back-to-back, going up with a 2-0 match record. And we talked to him today, this morning, feeling super confident. Carmack he wants to make sure everyone
He's such a showboater.
I know, right?
God, that guy.
Like he just has to show off that he knows so much more about us than anyone else. That's all right, Carmack. We know.
We miss you too, Carmack.
Yeah, we miss you too. All right, don't cry too much. It'll be okay. I'll be back in California soon, Carmack. Don't worry. I'll wipe the tears off your cheeks. All right,
is Carmack Canadian?
What? I was going to say something funny to why?
Does no one watch South Park at all?
Oh, no.
Oh. You're too clever for it. You guys are lame. Superior human being my ass. You don't even watch funny TV shows.
That is one thing I lack a lot of. I'll admit to that right away.
So, shall we touch upon Snute versus TY?
You know, yeah, we really should, Rotterdam. You know, you're the most professional one here. We got to stay on point. We are here for the Intel Extreme Masters, not to discuss our own little trivia. But yeah, looking at the bracket, of course, Snute versus TY. Now, let's talk about that matchup a little bit, because what I want to focus on is there's a lot of debate on if Snute statistically has a good chance or not. I mean, not just how he feels, but what are we looking at record-wise? I mean, Snute, do we think he has a chance, or is it really a hopeful?
Well, I think that a lot of people, a lot of people, as soon as they saw this, everyone went straight to the game versus innovation, like in their brains. They're like, all right, he's playing another Korean Terran. Who was the last guy who played? Oh, innovation, where he got destroyed. Like, that's exactly what people are thinking, but I think he has a really, really good chance at this. I spoke to him this morning. He feels confident. He's prepared. He knows how TY plays. TY, if you don't know, plays very aggressive in the early stages of the game against Zerg, and he looks to find an advantage and then carry the momentum through. So Snute knows this already. The only thing he's really worried about is if TY plays like Innovation did against him, which was just a very robotic-driven style. That's what he's worried about, but even if that was to happen, he says he's going to win today, and he thinks he said he could beat Parting too. That's the harder one, but he feels he's going the distance.
Well, Roddy, what do you think?
I actually do believe he can do it. I really think he can. I think it's one of the best draws he could have got. TY is obviously very scary, but he didn't look impressive at all against Lucira 2 days ago over here in his first match. The only thing that scares me a little bit is when you look at the last 10 matches that TY played, and you see that he has like 2-0-2 and stuff, then you're like, well, you know, maybe this is a little bit of wishful thinking after all. But I mean, Snute, whenever he's truly bringing his A game to the show, whenever he's really on fire, like, what impressed me the most out of all his games against Rain and Classic or whatever was that one moment where Classic was putting on non-stop pressure on him, and his minerals, his gas never went up. He kept it so low. He was macroing 4 or 5 hatcheries. His mechanics were really on point, and that's truly what I feel what you need when you go up against a Korean Terran. So if Snute brings the same level of play, but now in a different matchup, but he still brings those mechanics, I believe he can do it.
I think the one thing we have to talk about with Snute is I feel right now in his kind of position, he doesn't have that much pressure anymore. Compared to last year and to halfway through this year when everyone's like, Snute's going to BlizzCon, Snute's going to do it. You know, because he messed up so badly in Season 2, and he knows it. That kind of pressure's gone because he's like, all right, well, it's Bunny now that everyone's looking to instead of Snute. And Snute's like, you know what, whatever, you know, I'm going to just play my game again. I've got motivation back, and he doesn't feel that weight on his shoulders anymore, and it's actually making him feel better and play better. And I think we saw that in the group stages already.
And let's not forget the 2 weeks of practice he's had in Korea. Like, he's definitely played against some world-class Terrans. Normally, you get your practice against Bunny, maybe Happy, and then there are a few other good Terrans, you know, Uthermal, maybe the Muslim, and a couple others. But when you stay in Korea for a week and you grind that ladder, you're going to run into some real big boys.
You know, we keep talking about it from Snute's perspective, but what about TY? Because TY has to be coming in and saying, those 2 leagues that I didn't even come close to winning, he just beat the champions of them.
Yeah.
Right? So I think even coming in from TY's side, he's like, am I just the next Korean on Snute's to-do list?
I think there is maybe a little bit of extra pressure even on the shoulders of TY, because he doesn't want to be that Korean that gets eliminated in the quarterfinals against the non-Korean. You don't want to be that guy. So I think there might actually be more pressure on TY than there is on Snute.
Yeah, TY was saying that, like, if a Protoss doesn't win in the interview, if a Protoss doesn't win, it'll probably be him. He feels very good coming into this tournament, but I got to agree with you. He didn't look, like, super fantastic against Lucira. So I think that this is doable, and I think there's a lot of pressure on TY.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up, because TY also, you know, after his little bit of a stumble in Group A, in the interviews, he sounded a little bit taken aback, and I was like, all right, yeah, I do think I kind of need to step it up, et cetera, et cetera. And I just overall, we haven't seen the same confidence from him that we often see, for instance, Hero, right? Like, he feels so relaxed every time he wins. He's just like, I can joke around a little bit. I can talk so confidently about how I'm at least making it to the final. Same with Parting. But TY is like, I actually have to give it my all if I want to go that far. And in his way, like you said, it's Snute who just took down 2 amazing Koreans.
Let's not forget that players like Parting and Hero, they travel around the world all year, every year. They've played in so many of these tournaments. They've got 5, 6, 7 titles under the belt. TY, yeah, we know he's pretty freaking good in this game, but what has he ever won?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that's something we touched upon in the group stages, where TY, he has a lot of hype riding on him for players who followed him from the older days of Brood War, but he hasn't really shown it to the newer generation of StarCraft 2 fans yet. I mean, everyone's heard his name, but it's like, All right, cool. I keep hearing about TY. When's he going to win a title? When's he actually going to show up on that stage with a trophy?
The last big tournament, I suppose, outside of Korea that TY played was Home Story in November, I think it was, last year.
Yep.
He lost at this stage of the tournament to Lucira 3-0. Like, it wasn't even close. He just got completely rolled. And I think that's going to be somewhere in his mind thinking that I'm in another quarterfinal at another international tournament where all these non-Korean fans are watching. I don't want to lose again. But on the same side, Snute, in all the Intel Extreme Masters that he's played, he's gotten, especially last season, I think he got like 2-3 quarterfinals just last season.
And wasn't it all three the same? He always went up 2-0. Like, if Snute goes up 2-0, I get really worried, by the way. Like, it's better if he goes down 0-1. If he goes up 2-0, like, if he continues that course, then I'm just going to tear my hair out.
And he's never played in the semi-finals before in the Intel Extreme Masters, which I think is a big step for him right now if he was to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, maybe that's right, you know, resting on the back of his head a little bit, but as you mentioned, we talked to him this morning. He was eating like 3 plates of breakfast, no problem. Felt really good. Like, nothing was stopping it. It sounds funny, but hey, when pressure gets to you, sometimes your diet gets in the way, etc. You do want to make sure that you're still just in your comfort zone, you're doing your everyday thing, and Snute was showing us that. And he even talked forward about, you know, most likely if I move up, I'm going to play against Parting, and I feel pretty confident in that too. So the fact that he feels that he's rested enough, I think, is really important.
Yeah, and he looks happy, and I think that's one of the most important things. Snute is a very emotional player, and he often takes his emotions to Twitter as well. You know, some people are a fan of that, some are not a fan of it.
Right.
It's mostly important that when Snute comes up to a tournament, if he walks around relaxed and with a smile on his face, he is a much better player, and I truly hope he can continue it. And once again, please don't go up 2-0, because he did that last season 3 times, and 3 times he lost 2-3. So
yeah, well, Snute, I mean, he talked about how he met so many fans here too, so Snute is feeling good going into this quarterfinals. Now TY also fighting to try to make his mark in StarCraft 2 history in the quarterfinals of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 10 in Shenzhen. Bringing us the bottom half, the quarterfinals will be Apollo and Artosis.
Thank you, guys. All right, here we go, Apollo. Can Snute do it? Can he be the foreigner of hope once again?
I believe he can, Artosis, but there's only one way to find out, is to actually jump into the game and see how this is going to take shape.
All right, we have over here on the left-hand side of Bridgehead, hailing from South Korea, and KT, it is TY.
He's been a professional StarCraft gamer since the age of 12.
Yeah, that's his ID in StarCraft 1, baby.
It's not a baby anymore.
Like a little kid. And of course, his opponent from Team Liquid and Norway, it is Snute.
Do you believe?
I believe he can do it. I absolutely do. This guy is so professional. He's such a hardworking and intelligent pro. And this morning at breakfast, man, he was pretty laid back. Didn't seem stressed. Thought that he could do it.
Look at this mind game from Snute coming out, by the way. He spoke about this morning, is that he wants TY to freak out about to remind him about the 6 pull that happened when he played against Lucira. Unfortunately, though, TY hasn't kind of freaked out. So what Snute was looking to achieve, if you didn't see the games, is when Lucira 6 pulled, he sent a drone just like this.
Yeah.
And then a few seconds later, all the Zerglings flood in.
Yeah.
And so he was hoping for a cancel on this command center, or, you know, barracks to be thrown down, a wall to be constructed, but
TY is super calling his bluff.
Yeah.
Going for a gas after that drone comes in. He's like, nope, not happening. And, well, you know, it's smart of Snute to try something like that. Doesn't always pay off, but that's fine. At least he got some scouting intel. He knows what's going on.
And off the back of that, he has decided to throw down 3 hatcheries. He's got that drone in. He's seen that there is a command center first and that delayed barracks. He knows there's no pressure whatsoever. So he is going to really open up his lava and his production and, of course, economy moving into the next part.
Well, this is looking like it's going to gear up into a macro game, which I'm very excited to see. I think that Snute, you know, really can stand toe-to-toe with TY in that type of situation. He was really talking about how really innovation is like the guy that can get him, and TY doesn't really line up with that.
No, TY plays a very different style to innovation. TY plays a much more aggressive early game. So he really likes to deal damage and put the pressure on as soon as he can, which is why he's taking that gas immediately before the barracks here, so he can get that factory down instantly.
That's right, and he is getting it quite quickly. But the thing is, Snute does know that this is occurring, of course. His drone has been over there for decades, scouting everything out. So he should have everything really ready for anything that's going to come from
Yeah, but what is it? What is the best way to be ready, though? I mean,
well,
Snute talked about it a little bit this morning. What do you think?
Well, okay, so you either have to get speed or you have to get roaches, and those are going to be your two choices there. Obviously, you're going to want a little bit of creep spread out there as well. I mean, I feel like you got to go with the speed here, to be honest. Just some few extra queens maybe, and the Zergling speed, because if you go for the roaches, I feel like that can get pretty clunky. You know, are you going to go? Maybe he wants to follow it up with a roach all in or something like that, but. Yeah. I don't like it when Zergs try to continue into a regular macro game after using roaches to defend early tech.
Well, the starport has been placed down, and we are going to see a tech lab being added onto that barracks by the looks of it. So that's the way that TY is going to take this game. No, it's actually going to be marine production. So Hellion and marine production have started. Starport, I suppose, for a medevac here, Autosis?
Yeah, it absolutely should be. And I wonder if we'll see an armory going down at some point here. Maybe add in some Hellbats as well, as he is getting that second gas. But I would be surprised if he doesn't go for Banshees eventually with this second gas out already.
With the way that TY is playing, he must deal damage if he was to go for this aggression, especially the way that Snute has opened up.
Well, looks like he's grabbing a Viking to help clear the Overlords off the map here, really deny a lot of information here for Snute, who, by the way, is going for that Zergling speed. Definitely do like that choice.
Two Hellions going to come around from the north, and that's a really good position here. Firing into the mineral line.
Queen going up to check on him. Going to lay down a creep tumor so that he can very quickly react to this. Now a Baneling Nest on the way just in case there's any sort of shenanigans with Hellbats or something like that. But as we can see, not in TY's plans as of this moment.
Well, he's managed to get two drones and forced the others to come off the line here. Zerglings are in the way, and Queen's coming down to help defend this location. Very defensive setup here from Snute with the Spine Crawler also in addition to the Baneling Nest.
Yeah, he's playing really safely here. Big nod towards the type of style that we see from TY so often.
And TY has thrown down additional barracks here, Autosis. The Overlord that was outside just in this location right there was taken down by the Viking, and then additional production instead of what we usually see, a third command center coming in. So TY playing exactly how we thought he'd play here against Snute. Very aggressive and really looking to put the pressure on. But Snute is going to have an almost impossible time to identify exactly what he's going up against.
Yeah, but he's making a lot of lings. He's going up right now to 6 queens. So he is going to have some pretty good defense, at least against his first drop. So he's going to need to shut this down very strongly. Here we go. The Widow Mine's being dropped off. Let's see how many kills he can actually get with this. Looks like, oh God, already 8 drones going down.
There's also Hellions coming towards this third base too while these Marines are there, but there are Zerglings waiting to wrap around. Nice control there by TY not to go onto the creep, and he is going to start to deal a little bit of flame damage to these Zerglings as Snute chases him out. Snute did lose 8 drones to this.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough, and remember he lost 3 earlier to the Hellions as well, so he continues to take some damage. You know, he is getting 1-1, but will he live to see that 1-1 really pay off? I'm not so sure. He has no idea about this strong attack that's going to be coming out of TY.
Yeah, tanks, a lot of Marines, and of course now Medivac's going to start up. So a big push coming out from TY soon. He's got to wait a little bit before he does make this. And he does have double engineering bay of himself, so he's not falling too far behind in the terms of upgrades.
Trying to chase down this Viking right now that's going after the Overlord. TY being pretty efficient overall, but plenty of queens will save it. Now, just starting that layer, so we aren't going to have Baneling speed, which is going to be a little bit rough. But, you know, he's getting quite a few hatcheries. His macro's looking pretty good. His creep spread is really getting out there as well.
Do you think that this push that TY is designing, where is he going to strike? He has 2 tanks, which is clearly a strategic move with more than likely positional base, but where is that position?
I think it's behind this, I guess we'll call it the third right there.
Yeah, up here somewhere?
Yeah, I think that is the aim of it. And we do see that Snute has expanded up there, so that's actually a really good area, I think, to attack. It doesn't have as much creep as some of these other ways, but no, I guess he's actually going down towards that bottom base.
Well, I guess he could even lift the tanks up onto the high ground, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's a really nice move.
Well, TY's little attack's going to come down here to the south side. Snute has not identified where it is. He's got absolutely no vision. He's going to siege up on the other side of these rocks and then lift the Marines down.
All right, this is going to be pretty hard to deal with. He does have the stim upgrade. His 1-1 going to finish about the same time here as Snute's. He has started, of course, Baneling speed. That's not ready quite yet, but oh man, these siege tanks are a real pain to deal with.
Yeah, very good positioning here from TY, and there's a lot more Marines on the way on the other side of the map too. And Snute has to find a way to deal with this, because if he loses any more than what he's losing already, he's in trouble. He takes 2 banelings out. The hatchery started to...
Oh, very good micro so far here from TY. Luckily, he does have a lot of queens here to try to help push this back a little bit. A lot of lings on the way. In fact, Snute looks like he's going to go for a counterattack here.
Well, if he does that, he's not actually dealing with this assault, so he's going to lose that hatchery if he's not careful. There's already Marines back defending, so Snute's on the other side of the map where he should not be at this point. And this hatchery very, very close to being destroyed.
Oh, man, if he actually gets that hatchery, it would be huge. But there are transfusions. I don't know if he'll actually end up getting it. Looks like these Marines getting pretty low, but the Queen's getting very low on health here as well. Queen's starting to fall, and this has just been such an efficient attack by TY. I can't even believe how efficient this was.
It feels like Snute has not played against this before, because if you had, you would have already destroyed those rocks to make it easier for him to engage. This is a strategy which has completely caught him off guard. He's dealing with the medivac, which does help as now the Marines have been cleared up, but the cost efficiency from this move has been absolutely insane. And Snute is going to try and come around from the back.
Well, it does come in with a lot of Zerglings here, of course, loading off those Marines to try to help kill them off. And this is just, it's so gross, Apollo, the amount that he's actually killed off. Look at that. This early in the game, to have a rescore split on that?
Yeah, this is a disastrous start here for Snute, just being caught off guard by something that he really, really wasn't prepared for. And this hatchery is going to go down, so a fantastic move here from the KT Rolster Terran. And even getting ready to put down another drop at the north side here just to really split Snute's forces, and he just does not have enough to defend in multiple locations. An excellent move.
Well, I think you said it very well, Apollo. This is just something Snute wasn't expecting. It's probably something he hasn't actually played against before, this specific build, so it's like one of these one-of strategies, and those are so powerful on new maps, because what are the odds that Snute would have known about this? A great choice by TY.
Fantastic choice here, and he's going to be looking to finish this game off. Snute is going to try and hold on for as much as he can. He's got a lot of Mules coming out to try to stay alive in this game, but losing one of his key income facilities here, this hatchery at the south point, is disrupting his income. He's hurting with production. He's trying to re-expand into the center of the map. And he's doing everything he can to try to draw this one around.
Well, it looks like, I don't know how he's going to be able to do that. I guess just running around the map as best he can.
Yeah.
Maybe some base trade threatenings. I don't know if that's a good way to put that, threatenings. But definitely wants to threaten some base trades. Going to go ahead and work on these rocks. We see a bunch of eBays being queued up to make a secondary wall here for TY.
Yeah, and a bunch of Marines here just going to have a field day against those Zerglings. Banelings do come rolling in, though. This is where the fun begins. And how well is TY going to split? He doesn't split at all, because he actually moved back to his tanks here, which get a good couple of shots onto these Banelings.
And this is a fantastic moment, because it's 2-2 against 1-1 during all this as well. So that's about as good as Snute could have done right there.
Yeah.
But still TY with enough units to force it back.
And this is next. This is going to be the next destination for the battle. As TY moves into the central map, finds the re-expansion of Snute, which is not operational yet. More Banelings being morphed in, but there's going to be a lot of units here for TY, who does take that hatchery down very easily. No contestation from Snute.
Well, you know, Snute right now, 3 base versus 3 base. This is not looking too good for him. He does have a pretty strong Mutalisk count up at 17, making a lot more Zerglings here as well. But he's really got to crush the army if he's going to have a chance. He can't just, like, trade normally with it. He has to have, like, an outstanding victory.
Well, where is he going right now with Snute on the minimap? It's coming around from behind here, looking to catch the troops on their way home. But TY is more than happy to take this fight. He doesn't have too much here, though. Does pick up and is going to elevate away. Good fight there by Snute. Good catch of a lot of those units, and that's actually a very nice move, but he's still got to get his economy back online. It is not where it needs to be.
Yeah, he really needs to throw down even another hatchery. He is re-expanding to that bottom right base, but I feel like he needs to make another one. You know, he's been on 3 base versus 3 base for a little bit too long, so he needs an extra boost here.
Yeah, and I'm sure that we should have 3-3 on the way. I can see here that we do have it coming in for TY, and once those upgrades complete, that is where Snute is in the most trouble, so he's going to have to start to make some work happen soon.
Well, another nice drop here into the main base here from TY. Getting a queen, getting quite a few drones, and almost most importantly, making all of these mutas fly back and chase him around. TY really controlling the tempo of this game.
And that's exactly what he needs to do, to not let Snute feel comfortable in this series. And so far, that seems to be the plan, and it seems to be working.
Well, right now we do have Snute gathering his forces right here near the third base of TY. We'll see if he wants to run it at some point, but there is a nice sensor tower there, so he'll know of anything coming far, far in advance.
Snute added on more Mutalisk. His control has been pretty good, and the fights he's taken has been absolutely fantastic. He's going to turn around and kill off another Medivac here. Pulls his Mutalisk back not to lose any once again. And these units are a little bit trapped against these rocks. Some of them get picked up to be saved. But Snute really doing a very, very good job.
I gotta say, I really like this. What we see Apollo, he's getting Burrow right now. This is a great way that you can come back into games. I would say especially on a new map like this. You throw down some Burrow Banelings and hey, you get one good mine going off and that's gonna be pretty sick.
How far behind is Snute, would you say? I mean, he's got so many units out. He doesn't have too much Banelings, I suppose, only 13 and not that much gas to make that many more.
Well, I would say he's pretty far behind at this exact second, but it's all going to come down to the next fight for Snute. If he can take a very nice engagement, then I think he's caught back up.
Well, Burrow can definitely help in that. Only 10 seconds remaining. Snute going to go in. TY's forces split up here. He doesn't have everything here at the moment, Autosis. It's now slimming up to help this location, and if he gets that 3-3, that would be huge.
That would be gigantic, actually, if he can kill off this 3-3. That is going to be the point, as you said, where he's going to be in a lot of trouble if it finishes. Doesn't look like he can get it right now, unfortunately.
No, but he does get 22 SCVs and a command center. An orbital command, to be exact there, really limiting the amount of income that TY has. Snute now, for the first time, is actually taking an income lead between the both of them.
Snute's tenacity here has been really awesome. The fact that he has fought back so strongly at this point. He's kept most of his mutas alive all game long. He's up to 24 at this point, which is fantastic. But that 3-3 is finishing up now for TY, which is going to make the rest of these battles that much harder.
Yep. And Snute going to come in and surround this army with Banelings, and that's not the best spread here from TY. Unfortunately, the Banelings do go down, but there's a lot of burrowed units there in the center of this fight. I see them burrowed, Autosis.
Indeed, there are quite a few Banelings mixed in there as well, but I
didn't really get the detonation he wanted, no.
You know, a little bit mistimed there for Snute, really. His flank came around after the initial attack was actually basically cleaned up, so definitely didn't go as well for Snute as he had hoped, and you can see that reflected in the supply. TY catching right up here immediately.
And you can really see the efficiency and the benefits of getting that 3-3 upgrade. And the advantage is given TY in these battles. These Marines dealing so much damage to the Zerglings and Banelings. But at this point, Snute now has got to muster up a force to fight once again. He's still adding on more and more Mutalisk, 7 additional Mutalisk to join the ones he already has. And he still has that 24 number.
Well, in the meantime, we do have a big drop in the bottom right here by TY. Oh, it looks like it does get cleaned up, so Snute's going to be able to save that base. And Snute is going to go ahead and attack the bottom left base here of TY. I love this move right now. It's going to really force TY to react. He needs to keep this base alive or Snute will have chances to win.
There's a lot of Marines here stemming towards the Mutalisks. Snute's Mutalisks are caught, Autosis.
Yeah, that's going to be like a game-winning move right there.
Whoa, he was about 33, now down to 17. Very nice trap
brutal. That is a move that I don't know if Snute's going to be able to come back from, to be honest. I like the move from Snute. He overstayed his welcome a little bit too long.
Well, Zergling's going to try and buy Snute some more time, I imagine. Going to go and attack and harass the back ends of TY's infrastructure.
So he will be able to clean up this drop rather easily, but he's not really mining there. I like this little counter harassment that we do see. Taking out a few depots, really kind of trying to stretch TY thin, but in the meantime, TY making a very strong move towards the top right of the map right now with his army.
Very deep on creep here, so he can't really afford to mess up. 17 additional Banelings are being morphed in.
He's going to be able to get quite a few of those before they do hatch. Now we do have Snute getting into position right now. He has a big group of Zerglings on the other side of the map. We'll see if he wants to use that to counterattack TY or to bring it in for this battle, but he has got to crush this army efficiently if he wants to have a chance.
Yeah, that wasn't too efficient, the start of those Banelings.
Certainly not. Banelings going into a Marauder, never what you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and clean up that little piece of army. This army is not that big for TY. Definitely something that's killable. Still, though, Snute doesn't have that big an army himself.
Yeah, a lot of Widow Mines, though, going to be very cost-efficient in the fight. They're going to deal out so much damage.
Snute just continuing to remaneuver. He's barely mining at this point, Apollo. It's really looking rough right now.
Yeah, I'm just wondering when Snoot's going to make his move here to take the fight. It's really up to him when he's going to engage this. But TY just moving up and down this map, clearing out any expansions he sees that is providing resources for Snute to build up an army. He does have a slight advantage in army size, but the upgrade difference between the two of them, the 3-3 upgrades for TY, just outclassing what Snute has with just 2-2.
I like that burrow there, making him use a scan, but really, I mean, this is the one truly mining base of Snute. He's going to go ahead with a counterattack here, but this is a desperation counterattack. He doesn't really have a whole lot left that he can even try here.
All right, he grabs a medivac and a couple of Marines, and is going to fly out. But as you can see, just in the representation of the minerals to gas for Snute to the top right here, just really, really struggling with getting enough minerals to be able to do anything at this point. He starts a +2 attack for his Mutalisk, decides to cancel it as he doesn't really... Well, I think it's a good decision. It's not going to really come into play, is it?
No, it's not. You want every unit you can have right now, really. Yeah. That's not going to matter that much. Going in again for another attack with these Mutants, just trying to keep TY busy while he does a little bit of long-distance mining and gets his bottom right base up and going again.
And Snute not opting to re-expand anywhere. He's just adding on more and more units, more and more Mutalisks. So he really is just hoping for one push to come out from TY soon that he can eliminate to stand a chance to turn this game into his own, because right now TY is taking this for a walk in the park and it's looking good for the Korean. Really is.
It is. But we got to think back, Apollo, to just how strong his opening was. It was ridiculous how far ahead he got from that. And I have to say that this game, even though it really looks like Snute is going to lose here, is making me more confident in Snute's victory, because he has, I feel like, from the spot he was in, he's played really well. And in fact, sometimes outplaying TY. So I think if he can just live in the next games, he is going to have a great shot at taking him.
Well, TY has now built up an army that he probably is feeling that is almost good enough to go over to the other side of the map to take that one last fight, which would take him and give him map number 1. Still a couple of borrowed banelings there, which he does detonate.
All right, that was not too bad.
Yeah, there's 3 more here, but there is a scan that goes down, so he's going to clear those out.
Good tries from Snute, really pulling everything together that he possibly can, trying to MacGyver a victory out this game. Another drop going to come from TY, but the Mutas are here, so they're going to be able to clean that up rather quickly.
Just an update for everyone watching this at home. Parting has taken the first map versus Uthermal. He currently leads 1-0.
That's right, and of course you can check that out on, I believe, Base Trade TV. So definitely check that out, guys, if you like.
And now a new expansion has been taken by TY, and this is the last thing that Snute wants. So Snute is trying to re-expand himself, though. He's taken another hatchery to the top right, and also one in the center, which TY is about to find and eliminate, as he wants to keep that income as low as possible for Snute.
He'll have to just go ahead and cancel this one. No chance to actually hold on to it for Snute.
The Mutalisk count now up to 30, and it's going to be up to 38 in a couple of moments' time. A very high count. And I guess Snute's just going to be kind of counter-attacking for the rest of this game. Whenever TY decides to go for that killer push, Snute's going to go in with his Mutalisks. And maybe that can buy him enough time to build up an income where he can have a Baneling counterfight against this.
Yeah, perhaps. But, you know, right now we do have those Thors walking around with the army. This is not an army he wants to actually engage head-on. So you're definitely right. This is a game of counterattacks for Snute while he tries to eke out more money for more units.
And he's got a couple of borrowed Banelings here, hoping to get some cost-efficient trades again.
Well, only Marauders really walking over right now. We'll see. Okay. I mean, there's only a few Marines in there anyways. This is a very Thor-based defense. In fact, right now we have 4 Thors with 2 more on the way, so that is pretty anti-Mutalisk right there.
4 Widowmine's going to be dropped into this mineral line. Snute tries to run away with his drones. He's going to split them as he realizes he can't run from a boosted medivac, and he's going to lose 6 drones. 8 drones. And now the Mutalisk get taken off. So huge amount of Mutalisks at this point. His army is just Mutalisks. He's got 4 Banelings and 49 Mutalisks.
Wait, he has more Lings than Mutas, technically, at 55. You see him there, running around. We'll see what he does with them, making some more Banes at the moment.
15 Banelings, a pretty decent amount, but he still needs a Dream engagement.
How does he eliminate the Thors? I think that's the real big question here, and it might be in the Nesty way of mass banelings. He might decide that that's the way that he can kill them quick enough that his mutas can kill everything else without having been dead.
TY's pushing, Snute's counter-attacking, but how efficient is this going to really work out for him? He's got so many mules that tourists are just not a problem anymore. He takes down all of them. He's going to clear up the SCV line. He's going to take down this planetary fortress as well. Excellent move from Snute. But the big question still is out there to be answered. Can he deal with this army? Banelings are being caught off before they can even be morphed.
Oh, man. All right. He does have quite a few banelings here. We'll see how good the spreading is from TY. The muta's starting to come back, but he's got to be worried about those Thors.
Yeah, here's going to be the fight. Looks like Snute's going to be willing to take in a moment. There's a lot of Widowmines around too. And already a good start there for TY in this fight. A better start in the middle for Snute. Manages to clear up almost all of those units and also Widowmines.
Oh! Got to be careful about that. Looks like he is starting to take out some of these Thors. Doing a good job with his Lings and Banes, but does lose that expansion in the top right. Going for a counterattack right now. Will easily be able to clean this up, but takes a lot of damage on these mutas in the meantime.
Yeah, he does, but he's going to be able to clear up this command center, and the rest of the Marines trying to defend it. He's only lost a couple of these mutalisks. He's still at 44. And he is going to pick up this command center. And now TY is struggling for money. He has none left. He has 16 minerals in the bank, and currently, I repeat, currently Artosis is not mining.
How is Snute actually doing this? This is a fantastic play by Snute to be able to do this with basically pure mutalisks after taking so much damage all game long. But here we go. The Thors coming in right now. This is truly the final battle. A magic box comes out here from Snute, and he will be able to kill them all off.
He kills them all off, and then he's going to fly out of here as the Marines come to support these Thors, and Snute gets out of there. He's down to 30 mutalisks, so he did lose quite a bit in that fight, 14 in total. But right now, TY is still not mining. He's having to lift a command center to go replenish and replace. Look, neither is Snute, though. That is another important fact. Neither is Snute really mining.
As long as Widowmines don't hit his mutas, Snute is almost good to go. Like, there's only 21 Marines out here with 5 medevacs to fight them off.
500 minerals a minute for Snute is what he's working with currently, down to the bottom right, which is almost mined out. He's going to re-expand once again. And Snute now has the supply lead in this game. A fantastic turnaround for the Norwegian, as this game that he's been playing from behind from the very beginning when TY chose that move, which the rocks still to this point in the game have not been removed from Snute. Took a lead, but Snute has crawled this one back.
You know, in this game, the mutalisks have truly been Snute's sword and his shield.
They have Artosis. And that is something that TY is going to have to really think about moving forward from this and how to deal with it. What is the correct way? Does he need to set Widowmine traps up in the future in the next couple of games to assist these turrets? But right now, army supply, similar, 75 to 77.
The Mutalisk coming back now with much higher health. He does lose one there. Small victory for TY.
Yeah, still 2-2 versus 3-3. Very important. It's been like that the entire game. TY is now buckled down, is looking to build up a command center that he can move into the middle to retake.
Well, we'll see if he can get another base up. These mutas just going to continue to harass non-stop here. I love how he has some Widowmines just kind of spread out a little bit, trying to catch the mutas. He gets one or two really good Widowmine shots. He can still take this game.
Well, 2 Widowmines going towards this expansion up here, which is where Snute's mining. Funny enough, I was looking at TY in the minimap. He actually wanted to send the drop through the creep. Realized obviously creep's going to see him and then decide to go further north. He does not want that to be stopped. As you can see, Snute does not know that's on its way.
Muta's continuing to try to harass in here.
Has he spotted it?
Slowly but surely, man. He's trying to make his way. He could theoretically see it, but okay, he saw it.
He's seen it. Snute goes back. Good vision there from Snute on the minimap. And he is going to stop that. Because if those Widowmines had gone off, that would have been an excellent move from TY. He drops them in there, but the Mutalisks are back just in time. Still loses 6 Mutalisks, so maybe not in time.
Well, it looks like the Muta's going to fly back down. Once again, he's cleared out this creep. He wants to be able to take this base. He really needs it to supplement his economy here.
36 Marines, though, are going to beat these 28 Mutalisks. The Banelings are going to be the key to victory here for Snute if an engagement does happen. But right now, it is all about the counterattacks. The main base is exposed due to these rocks being taken down. There's not too much inside this main base. One Widowmine goes off, but Snute's going to take the fight. A second one goes off. Was hidden within the barracks. A third one goes off.
Really good hiding there by TY.
But only 2 Mutalisks go down, though. A lot of them damaged, but only 2 went down.
And you know what? The thing is, getting damage as well can be very nice because it makes the mutas back up a bit more. It gives you a little bit more time. But no, he's coming in right now. He's brought all his Lings and Banes as well.
Yeah, Snoot's entire army is here as TY's is not. It's actually currently defending that new expansion he took in the center of the map, and Snute brings everything here and takes a fight. But it's not the fight he really wished for there. Unfortunately, TY was good enough to defend and moved away from threat. And now TY is mining.
Yeah, that was a little bit painful. His ground army now consists of 5 Zerglings and 2 Banelings. So, you know, not really going to be that helpful against this huge, massive bio that Ty has actually gotten. But the mutas still do trump everything on mobility. So he's going to continue to fly around this map and just try to eke out little pieces of damage. In fact, he's going to go ahead and engage. Not many Marines here at the moment.
Yeah, loses a Mutalisk, but kills off 3 SCVs there and a handful of Marines. It is 30 SCVs and mules for TY, whereas it's just 15 drones here for Snute, who again continues to harass with this Mutalisk flock.
Now, he only has 2 orbitals, is something we should mention. So, you know, I feel like this is a really good time to work in some burrowed Banelings as well, because he really needs to be dropping his mules. He doesn't want to be scanning everywhere for those burrowed Banelings.
But with a complete fresh expansion for TY, the income difference is going to be massive between the both of them.
Yeah.
You can start to see double right now for TY, over double.
It's pretty tough right now. Great unit spread around the map for TY, really defending all of his weak points. Snute does have a good hatchery up in the middle there, but he's not really making drones. He's just chilling on 14 at the moment.
Harassment continues here for Snute as he tries to find a victory in map number 1 of this best of 5, remember?
This has been a crazy back and forth. I wrote Snute off like twice already, and then one time I'm like, oh my god, he's actually going to win. And, well, TY has brought it back once again. A fantastic first game, as you say. Guys, get out there, tell your friends. This is the first stop in Season 10 of the Intel Extreme Masters, and Snute is playing like a literal god.
A literal god. 3 times he's played in this position in the Intel Extreme Masters within the 12-month period from the start of the last season. He reached 3 quarterfinals here in Shenzhen. Exactly last year, he lost versus Jadong. Toronto, unfortunately, he lost versus Flash. And in San Jose, he also lost in the quarterfinals versus CJ Hero. He's here again for a 4th attempt against TY, the Terran player from KT Rolster. Will he fail or will he succeed?
Seems like he loses to a lot of winners. That's a rough draw early on, man. And TY was saying if he could get out of that group and do well, he might win this tournament. But he's got to go through Snute first, who's playing so well this game. Very, very impressive.
TY is starting to run away with the supply, though. 50 supply advantage, even though Snute, I say 5-10 minutes ago, was at a lead. Unfortunately, not anymore, as this income is so very good for TY now. Luckily for Snute, gets away without losing a single Mutalisk there, but the problem still exists. He's not mining the same as TY, who is sitting back defensively, protecting his lead. Snute, you've got a great Widow Mine hit here, but he doesn't quite realize it at the moment. 2 Widow Mines there.
Huge, actually. If he, not as good now, but still good. Yeah, there you go.
A good hit there.
Very good indeed, and that's gonna, you know, force a little bit more scanning coming out of TY as well.
Again, the Mutalisks go into the main base. They find a Thor, and they are going to be able to take this Thor out. Marines come to help again. Snoot's got to be very careful. He's gambling more and more with these Mutalisks, going so deep inside this main base. He does not want to get trapped like he did previously. A Ling flood into the main base, finds a lot of these Marines. He's going to go back into, and he's going to take this fight.
I like this move, Apollo. He's killed off quite a few medevacs, quite a few Marines, and a Thor during all of this. Gonna go ahead and burrow a couple Banelings in the meantime. Does pull a scan out.
He's eventually picked off almost all of the production in this main base. It's having to be replaced elsewhere on the map as Snute continues to harass. But at the end of the day, he's still mining the same. He's just continuing to harass. Where's his end game?
Well,
is this it?
I think this is it. He just keeps going around like this, and hey, he's actually killing off quite a bit at the moment. Some nice Thor micro there, trying to save it multiple times, getting a lot more hits than you would think.
Absolutely loving the mobility that Snoot's providing and showing here. The Mutalisk and Lings going one way, then the other, really splitting the forces of TY up, who cannot defend in multiple locations at such a low number, but Snute traded off a lot of units there, and there's now a 60 supply difference. Obviously, you've got to count SCVs into this, but Snoot's having a hard time replenishing what he's losing.
Yeah, I would say so. Production tab, 1 Mutalisk. That's a tough pill to swallow, but you know, it goes back to the fact that he continually harasses, he continually runs around the map. That's the strategy he chose, so he never made beyond these 14 drones when he went so low. And it's, you know, he's biting him in the butt now. He just can't replace any of this. He had to basically win with these units, and these have been pretty much the most cost-efficient Mutalisks you could ever dream of. Just not quite enough here.
Again, Snute finds a different angle to attack into. Manages to pick up a couple of SCVs. He's going to go back into the main, but gets himself caught here, and he's going to lose a couple of these Mutalisks. A Widowmine shot goes off as well.
Yeah, right now he's actually down to just 13 Mutalisks. He's really lost that critical mass that he needs to be able to truly engage armies. Another one does fall.
Again, for all of you at home watching this on the big screen, Parting has taken map number 2 against Uthermal and continues his road towards the finals where he wants to play against Hero in that grand final. Unfortunately, the Dutch player not being able to keep up. And an update live from the field. It is a 3-0 for Parting now.
Oh, wow. So the winner of this match has quite a hard one in front of them. Unfortunately, Apollo, Ewan Chobra's idea of the all-European semifinal not going to be taking place this time.
Chobra cursed it.
He did curse
really
it. I just didn't
it.
believe it when it came out of his mouth.
If only he allowed me to mention it.
Well, Chobra's the boss, so...
Chobra does what Chobra does best.
All right, here we go. The Muta's coming around now with the few Zerglings that Snute does have left. Chasing down that medevac a little bit, but TY just continuing to entrench his positions here. We do have some drones being created. Looks like it's time for Snute to get back into macro mode with 3 drones on the way.
Gives him 17 auto assists. He's already at 14. He gives up. GG is called.
Wow.
TY takes map number 1 despite Snute's resilience.
Yeah, truly an epic game. And I have to say, he took so much damage early on, Snute did, to this really wonderful strategic choice from TY. I'm so impressed that he was able to push the game that hard. So I'm sure Ty's looking at it and saying, oh my God, he's really good.
Definitely gave him a run for his money there, but it is TY who takes the first map. And as we've started to really talk about a lot recently, players mentioning it, a lot of talk on the desk. The first map is very, very important in whatever best of series. It really gives momentum and confidence to one player. Now, Snute, for Rotti's sake, did not go up 2-0 like he has in other quarterfinals. He isn't going to lose 3 in a row. So maybe Snute's time to go down 2 maps and turn it around to win 3 in a row.
I wouldn't mind that one bit, Apollo, especially with an epic game like that. Looks like our next map going to be Coda. We are going to go ahead and get into this game very quickly. We're going to skip the breaks. No breaks on this crazy train, Apollo. Got a lot of matches to get through today.
The doors are locked on this train. You're not getting off.
That's right. You watch out. Snute Seagal is on the train, and he is knocking nerds out left and right. Don't have to speed up his fight sequences. He's got really high APM. All right, guys.
TY definitely feeling it. I mean, when you play against that, he knows from the very beginning stages of that game, he was in a very good position, but it took 50 minutes to close it out.
He did. Snute is the onion in that game. All right, here we go. Getting into game number 2, Snute against TY. Tell your friends, get them in here, because this is going to be epic. All right, down here in the bottom right, representing Korea and KT Rolster, it is TY.
His first Intel Extreme Masters tournament. He's already reached the quarterfinals, but how far will he go?
How far indeed. His opponent in the top left from Team Liquid in Norway, it is Snute. Absolutely fantastic play after being caught off guard by, you know, that's like one of the ways I always think about TY is weird builds like that.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, I figured out this thing on this map that's going to totally screw you one time. And he does it, and then he wins that game. Like, he's done that so many times in his career. Very intelligent player like that. It's tough for Snute that's where he had to find out about that strategy.
In the quarterfinals of the
Yep.
Intel Extreme Masters. Could have found out on the ladder last week, but no. It is the quarterfinals, he does find out. But this new map we've loaded into Coda, nothing funny should be happening here. This is a completely well thought out, well played out map from both sides. Nothing and no surprises should happen, Artosis.
No, I think it should be pretty standard overall. We do see a pool first from Snute, just playing it a little bit safe here. Doesn't want any shenanigans. And a CC first.
Yeah, Korean Terrans have been known once to grab a lead, to further that lead by going for a 2 barracks. Very aggressive strategy, but that is not the case. It's the complete polar opposite. It is going to be a command center first. And we'll see if Snute can potentially do anything about this, because he hasn't scouted that it is command center first. Is he going to blindly build lings in anticipation for this? Is it purely defensive? The way that his minerals are lining up to the spawning pool finishing, he has no intention to do anything at the moment.
Yeah, it could just be a safety play here.
Yeah.
Gonna go ahead and grab that queen instead of any Zerglings, which works out pretty well for TY, I guess.
Snute now sees he's playing against this command center first, adds on an additional set of Zerglings, so goes up to a total of 4, then stops. Coming into this tournament as well, both players have got to think about the World Championship Series ranking, Artosis, as TY just outside the top 16, funny enough. I don't think too many people really knew that. He comes in at rank 21 into this tournament, picking up a couple of points being in the quarterfinals. And Snute ranked 28, quite far down compared to where he was before Season 2 begun in the WCS.
Yeah, neither of these guys down and out yet. Both of them definitely could make it if they have some strong showings in the last tail end of the year. I guess this is the last third of the year at this point.
A victory at this tournament would put TY in the top 16.
Oh, excellent. Well, I mean, he definitely is someone capable if he can get through Snute here. His TVP is very strong. Beaten a lot of great Protosses lately, but, you know, I'm feeling it, man. I'm still feeling Snute here. I think he can do it.
Well, 4 Zerglings, not fast enough to do any key damage to TY, but he's going to slow down the mining a little bit on this expansion while TY waits for enough Marines to deal with them. He's going to pull a couple of SCVs to help buffer.
And just going to force those Zerglings right out of there.
Yeah.
Well, we do have the factory on the way, of course. Nothing too groundbreaking here overall. I got to ask your opinion here. Do you think that TY should continue to play with some more, like, very original, unorthodox type plays, or can he play just some straight macro against Snute after what you just saw?
I think a good mix is the right way to go. Both is the answer from me. Bit of aggression here.
Yeah.
Bit of greed over here.
Yeah.
And a sprinkle of salt to top it all off.
Well, if he loses this game, the salt will be there indeed. Well, we do see a third command center on the way here. Speed coming up for Snute, so nothing too aggressive from TY yet. Nothing too crazy from Snute either, who is taking his third base, of course.
And that has been spotted here by TY. And that gives him a bit of confidence, knowing that there shouldn't be any aggression coming his way, knowing that resources have been thrown into that hatchery and not units. So we see Snute building the Baneling Nest in anticipation for some form of aggression, but he's about to find out what exactly he's playing against. He has an Overlord moving into the main base, and he's going to see that this is a completely standard game here, that the Baneling Nest will not be required.
And as he sees that, at least that kind of puts him at ease, right? Because it's not like this build is going to do any early damage to him. We do see the Hellions running in, trying to get some damage done, but I guess he gets 2 drones. That's not too bad.
Yeah, 2 drones taken out there. But Snute is all about the drones at the moment, having seen that third command center. The additional production now being planted for TY as he looks to start to build an army very, very shortly. And the also engineering base placed on the natural for his upgrades.
Now we should be seeing some evolution chambers coming up from Snute pretty darn soon here. And there they go. So his upgrades won't be very much behind.
Look at this though, Hellions coming around the left-hand side. Currently, Snute has very few units. Only 10 Zerglings out, and that is not enough to deal with these 4.
Yeah, more and more drones on the way. He does have 4 queens out.
They're going to have to be called to duty here if these Hellions do go over the other side of the map. Not though. They're just kind of hanging around. I think they had a quick look to see if there was any Zerglings being hidden that they were going to run in and counter-attack, but it's not the case.
Well, just kind of having some map control right now for TY with those Hellions, realizing he doesn't have a whole lot of backup. If he were to move across the map and lose those, he'd be playing in the dark quite a while.
Noticing Snoot's style here, Dan, is something that he used a long time ago is layerless, if that makes sense. He's staying on hatchery, and once he knows he's not playing against Cloak Banshee, all he does is produce a lot of drones and even get a macro hatch before he chooses to go for the layer here. Really delays it because he knows that he doesn't really need the layer super early. If he has good creep spread, has a lot of units, a lot of drones, and his economy and production's absolutely fantastic at this moment.
It truly is. He's even getting queens number 5 and 6. This is kind of similar to what he did in that last game, but of course he's taking no damage here. So I'm liking the position he's in, and I do like the build. Like to really get your economy up this much, especially with that great Overlord scout. Yeah, he knows that there's nothing that can hurt him yet.
Yeah, it was a good decision from Snute. Upon seeing that TY was taking a backseat in this game, he likewise joined in on the back of the bus, took a backseat with him, and decided to...
Cool kids sit in the back.
Cool kids sit in the back, Artosis, and cool kids play on Coda.
That's right. That's what we always said in school. Cool kids sit in the back and play on Coda.
Fourth base coming in for Snute, as well as that macro hatch. He's just got absolutely everything he could dream for at this point. I guess his creep spread could be a little bit better, but he has everything at this moment.
Getting quite quick burrow here as well. Getting that Baneling speed before the Spire even, so we see kind of where Snoot's brain is at for this game right now.
Yeah. I feel like both of these guys are charging up, ready for the mid-game. As this is going to complete slow and peaceful early game, really.
This is next time on Dragon Ball Z type of stuff.
Yes. Yes, it is. And this is where it's going to begin with TY dropping inside the main base for the first attack of this game, and Snute deflects it. He also does have to deal with another attack on the left-hand side, or right-hand side, sorry, which is a bunch of Hellions, which is dealt with as well.
Yeah, very good defenses so far here. We do have a second factory on the way for TY during this, by the way. Just something to keep in mind. I'm sure he's going to want to get some Thors. He knows how dangerous the mutas are going to be that are going to be coming out. Another drop down here behind the Spire.
Yeah, good harassment here from TY, and he's actually picking up now on the strategy of Snute, seeing how late that Spire is, and is really capitalizing on it. Multiple drops, multiple locations, really dragging Snute out. And he has another force ready to strike on the fourth base while distracting Snute inside the main and keeping his forces around. But Snute is splitting, as you can see on the mini-map. Well, I say that.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't
turns
really
around
have too much at the fourth base right now.
You must not lose this.
Ooh, that's actually very painful. Loses that queen. We do have the Lings coming in, though. Doesn't look like he'll be able to do any significant damage over there. We do have 13 mutas now started. Yeah,
this is going to really stop the harassment once these come out. You can really put TY back in his place, but TY's in a fantastic place, as you can see. He's got his extra barracks being kicked in on this third. He's got a lot of money and a lot of production with the 2-2 upgrades on the way, and Snute, funny enough, has not begun researching until this very second his +2 melee attack upgrade for Zerglings.
That just has to be a mistake, right? There's just no reason you'd ever do that. So that actually might really bite him in the butt. That's pretty painful. You got to keep your upgrades really on, right on point against Terran.
TY has an attack on the right-hand side. He has drop set on the left, but right now Snute is attacking direct to the heart. The third base is exposed, and Snute's going to go for it. The bunker is trying to be repaired and is being repaired. And so far, so good on the whole, but it will go down shortly. At the same time, TY is going to take out this fourth hatchery, and he is going to use the drops inside the main base. Snute has taken the third location, but how much damage is he going to take at the same time?
Yeah, this drop in the main is what really scares me, Apollo. There weren't a lot of drones at that fourth base. Looks like he is going to go ahead and evacuate. Loses one queen here. Only a couple drones going down so far, though.
But if you think about this, Snute is having to clear this up, but it's taking a while. TY's already got his third base back up and running, and Snute, I feel, as good as that kind of seemed, got the worst end of this.
I absolutely agree. Losing that fourth base puts him on 3 base versus 3 base again, like we saw in that previous game. This is something that TY continues to do to Snute, and the longer you're sitting 3 base versus 3 base, the further ahead Terran is becoming.
Yeah, TY playing very, very well here. He definitely had a shaky game against Lucira in group stages, but he's turned it around. It is a new day. It is Championship Sunday here at the Intel Extreme Masters, where we will crown the first champion of the 10th season within the next couple of hours. These two players fighting for that chance to be crowned, but right now it is going the way of the South Korean as TY continues to do very, very well in this series, but Snute does have a supply lead for the time being. But what is that supply lead really in? He has a 20 advantage in workers.
And he's about to have about 20 Mutalisks, and the rest are split between Lings and Banelings. So, I mean, he's got a strong economy still. He's got to get that 4th base up and mining, though. And now we're going to see more and more Mutalisk harassment, I think, kind of like before. He's got to keep TY back for a little bit while he tries to recover his economy.
Only just starting that +1 attack upgrade for his Mutalisk as well. I feel that upgrade probably should have been started when the Spire completed. He's going to have a much harder time doing that harassment with no upgrades on his Mutalisk. He could have started +2 attack at this point. But we do have the 3-3 Devil upgrades coming in for TY. That is always the bane of this matchup, where Zerg really begin to struggle.
Do you think Snute's like off a little bit? Because you're definitely right about this +1 attack there. He was off on the +1 melee attack. Did maybe that previous game throw him off a little bit?
Or he wants what Roddy wants, to go down 0-2 to come back to win 3 in a row.
I wouldn't mind that. I'm doubting that's what Snute's thinking, but I guess we can ask him in the winter interview.
Well, another drop from TY. This is going to be cleared up. And Mutalisk coming to get rid of the medivac. Snute going to go for a counter-attack at the same time. Going to split some of these forces up, but the door gets shut. TY stops that immediately. And unfortunately for Snute, that was a lot of Zerglings to the slaughter. 2 Banelings are the only things left over which are borrowed, but not really in the best position.
Well, maybe he'll be able to use them at one point here. We do have the Infestation Pit starting up. I'm pretty excited to see that. He never got into that type of tech in the previous game.
Yeah, opens up the Hive. Pretty much only the Hive at this point. Of course, access towards his 3-3 upgrades. We shouldn't really be seeing anything else. Maybe he tries Infestors, some kind of cost-efficient way to fight against TY. If he can get a good fungal, could work out. But at this point, Snute going to try and work some magic again with these Mutalisks. Comes in, finds the 4th command center being built, does stop it from being constructed, and takes down a Widowmine for his troubles too. All
right, that's the nice type of harassment that we really need to see here. He is taking another base kind of in the center of the map because, well, that's all that's left.
Yeah.
And if he can keep TY busy long enough, maybe he can get that creep spread out, get a few more units, and, you know, have a quality engagement when he attacks it. But this 3-3 just about to finish.
Hive now starts for Snute, so he's not going to really use any of that key tech from the Infestation Pit. Just going to unlock the Hive tech. He uses the Banelings there. Well done. And I think an important factor in this game is he is keeping TY away from this 4th base. That is something which TY would be liking to be taken now. But it's not the case. As you see, he's trying to move over to take it. Overlord spreading creep, which is going to delay this a little bit longer. 3 Widowmines headed towards this 4th base to the top right-hand side for Snute. When is he going to react to it?
Well, he should see it as of this moment, but he's actually attacking in right now, moving in with all of his Slings and Banes and Mutas here. He's going to take out that Thor very quickly and then back off. Looks like he does want to go deal with that drop now.
Maybe a little bit too late. Drones are in trouble.
Indeed they are. That quick burling, it's pretty hard to get away from him.
Yeah, 7 drones going down there. Fantastic Widowmine placement there. Just a very random timing for them to go off for TY, and it worked out perfectly once again. And
nice scan here.
Yeah, nice scan. Gets a boy Widowmines. He's now got that 4th base up and running, TY.
And that is pretty scary. We do have the 5th hatch up here for Snute. Nothing mining there quite yet. He has started 3-3, and he's getting the Ultralisk Cavern as well, which is actually really nice to see.
Yeah.
If he can actually get into 3-3 and get into Ultras, that's when this can turn right back around to him.
Right now he finds his 4th base. He's going to go for it. He's got the Mutalisks targeted down the command center. He changes focus to the turrets, and it looks like he's going to give it up.
Yeah,
but TY comes from behind here. Scans, gets rid of some of these Banelings that are borrowed.
You know, there wasn't too much choice there. Too many SCVs and Mules actually repairing the CC. It was a valiant effort, though. If he did pick that off, that'd be really annoying for TY to replace.
Well, TY not having any of this Mutalisk harassment thing that Snute did in the previous game. Has not really taken nowhere near the damage.
And look at this, Apollo. We have 4 Ultras started, so that's going to be a very nice compliment to his army. But can he live to 3-3 chitinous plating and adrenal glands? Or, right, of course he'll live to them, but can he live without taking any more damage till then?
Widowmine drop gonna land again. This time doesn't look like we are gonna see too much damage being dealt, as the Mutalisks are here in time.
It does clean that right up, but again, you know, this is kind of TY controlling where those Mutalisks are, controlling the movement on the map. Definitely worth it to lose a couple Widowmines in a medevac this late into the game to force Snute to do things. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Snute is closing in on that 3-3 upgrade. Yeah. He's closing in, he's got 4 Ultralisks out now, he's morphing in 20 Banelings as TY starts to push through this center. He's got to just sacrifice that base. I mean, well, it looks like actually TY is spreading his units thin enough that he can go ahead and save it. Looks like some really good Widowmine hits there, getting the Mutas quite low on health, and he does see these Ultras part of the army now. 2 Bored Banelings. As TY sets up his position, he spreads his units out, anticipating a move in from Snute here. He's going to come from multiple angles, marches down the ramp, and also attacks from the right-hand side flank. Is he going to make this work, though? Because TY is... he is going to get pushed back here. This is, yeah, he is. It's right before 3-3, though, which is just kind of heartbreaking for Snute. If he had 3-3 there, that battle looks very, very different than what we just saw. And TY ends up cleaning up this base anyway. And I got to jump back to what I was saying before. I really felt like he should have just sacked this base and waited for that 3-3. It almost felt like an anti-timing there. Well, Snute straight back up to 200 supply. As soon as he started to lose units, he replenished them. But that was a great strike from TY. A good achievement to be able to take down that base. He finds another one over here. He's going to pull his forces back, knowing that Snute was about to arrive. Looks like he is going to go ahead and poke in down here. Not really going to get anything done, though. Snute's got his upgrades completed, but does he have the momentum? Yeah, he lost a lot of units in there. He lost like 4 Ultras, a bunch of Banes, a bunch of Lings and Mutas, but here he goes. He's attacking in here once again. Thor gets picked up and moved back. These Ultras starting to deal quite a bit of damage in here. The Mutas coming in as well, starting to target down a few medevacs. He's going to have to pull out. Not enough Zerg here, and TY stands strong on top of the hill and is going to push Snute away and holds the position while continuing to add more and more units. He's looking to expand again, and a fantastic hold there by TY. Not just good at attacking, but good at defending too. And he's looking like this is getting closer and closer towards a 2-0, unless some magic happens here for Snute. Yeah, it certainly is. He's continuing to make more Ultras. I feel like, oh man, the Mutalisk count is just so low at 11 that he can't do the runaround thing again like we saw in the previous game. So he's going to really focus heavily on his land army and just hope for a very strong engagement. Like an army crushing engagement. That's gonna be the one way he can really win this game. And the one way that TY can mess this up, because he does not want that to take place. He's going to spread his units thin. He's not fighting on creep. He wants to solidify his lead with a 2-0 in this best of 5. And of course would force Snute to do the complete reversal and win 3 maps in a row, which against a Korean Terran of the standards of TY, it's very, very, very difficult to pull off. Snute setting up for a flank again. He's going to attack from the left and attack from the right. He's going to fight off creep, and TY not taking the best fight immediately there. He's not stimming until very late or spreading, so Snute gets a head start in this fight. But will he be able to finish it off? TY has so many units and a lot more still to come. The Ultras getting really close and personal with these units. Yeah, some missed Baneling detonations there on one of the Thors. A little bit rough there for Snute, but that's going to be just about it. Nothing else he can do. And GG, TY going to go ahead and take game number 2. And after map number 1, you can imagine that TY was feeling a little bit nervous, but now he must be feeling over the moon. That was a good game from him. He played very well in map number 1. He's played fantastic in game number 2. And I'm sure he's just thinking, this is mine. This is my series now. Absolutely. You know, it's too bad because that game I felt like he played a lot better than the first game. The first game I feel like he won off of the back of a very strong strategy and then pulling himself together in a hard situation. But Snute just seemed like slightly off. His upgrades weren't started at the exact right times, and Snute always is starting those at the exact right times. The anti-timing attack to try to save that base, which was not really savable. Yeah. You know, he lost a lot of units right there, and it was just a little bit rough, you know. Yeah, and that's a crushing defeat, that map number 2. You can see Snute shaking his head a little bit before. Is map number 1, you can credit that to the strategy, which he was surprised by. And you can kind of wipe that one away. You can say, okay, I got caught off guard, no problem. Let me go into game number 2. But
game number 2 was as standard as it goes, really. That's a very typical Terran versus Zerg, and Snute was not good enough to beat this guy. And I think Snute maybe started to feel the heat in that booth, and especially because we're in China, Artosis.
Especially because maybe he doesn't have his AC on. Who knows? We don't know.
We don't know.
Can't tell. But looks like our next map going to be Cactus Valley. What are your thoughts on this map for Snute?
It's a nice big map. That's always good for Snute here. A nice big map, a bit of freedom where he won't feel as pressured from this guy. And hopefully he's going to be crossing his fingers and toes and anything else he can cross.
His legs.
His legs.
I play with my legs crossed quite often.
Cross his arms too. That he gets cross positions. Maybe he has to play play with his arms like this, Artosis.
What do they call that? Southpaw in Street Fighter? It's going to play some Southpaw StarCraft too.
His left hand would need to go on the mouse and the right hand crossing over to the keyboard. If any professional ever did that, they'd make a lot of money.
That would be pretty sick. All right, guys, the game is starting. Let your friends know. Get on your social media. Hashtag IEM for the Intel Extreme Masters Shenzhen Season 10 opener. Down here in the bottom right from KT in Korea, it is TY.
I don't think he's worried at all anymore.
No.
I think he's feeling great.
He's thinking about his next match. In the top right from Norway and Team Liquid, it is Snute. Of course, the last foreigner left over in this tournament. Uthermal did go down 0-3 to parting. I really hope that we don't see Snute go down 0-3 here. Snute definitely a player at the caliber of being able to take games off of all of the Koreans here.
Of course, Snute playing for a chance at his first ever semi-final at the Intel Extreme Masters. And having a look at this at the moment, Artosis, we have Barracks number 1 in the center-ish of the map, and Barracks number 2 next to it.
Indeed we do.
But this is very, 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 very far away.
It certainly is.
And Snute has opened up for a gas first, then spawning pool.
Wow. Wow, that's actually really good for him that this happened.
Yeah, I think this is a very well-calculated strategy coming out from Snute. The two things this is going to be good against is, of course, what we're seeing, but also Command Center First, which TY has used 2 games in a row.
Yep.
So Snute adjusting, and I think that tells us a lot about Snute's mentality as well, Artosis. I mean, he could have played a completely standard game. He could have played another battle of titans here. There's 2 worlds collide, as Claris would say. But he's decided to completely change it up, and it shows that he's a little bit worried about this guy.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it's really impressive that he's done this. And the thing that I really like about this is that this should be a very quick and decisive victory, which should re-energize Snute. The last 2 were kind of brawlers. You know, they took a while, and they can kind of sap your energy and your willpower. But here, I mean, I think he can feel re-energized and kind of wipe the slate clean.
Well, remember, Snute moved in with his Overlord, but pulled back not to reveal it. It was revealed for a very split second, but TY did not notice. But likewise, Snute has not noticed. Now, TY has gone over to the other side of the map and has now seen a hatchery late. Is moving forward anyway with this and is going to continue with this bunker placement. But Snute, right now, I must repeat, has no idea until this very moment where he sees a bunker being built, what's going on.
Right, he's going to be building a lot of Zerglings from here, bringing the Queens down as well, no doubt. You can't open with this strategy, then lose to the bunker rush. That would be really bad.
Has gone back into gas. He's probably going to go towards a Baneling Nest, you'd imagine, at this point. But he knows what he's up against. 1 bunker is completed, and the second one is going to also complete. But what does he do? How does he approach this? It's a Roach Warren is the choice from Snute. And I've seen him win games like this in the past. I've also seen his teammate TLO win game like this as well. But TY has a lot of Marines over the side. He's now lifted up his barracks and he's going to make a wall to protect his second base.
Very smart move indeed.
Not a full wall yet, but a wall to start with.
He's going to go ahead, push up this ramp at the moment. Quite a few Lings out there. He is going to be able to scout the Roach Warren. That's actually a pretty big deal as well.
That shouldn't have happened there. Burrow's being researched as well. And TY stays out with some of these units. He salvages 1 bunker, starts another 2.
I think this is a great move when you've seen the Roach Warren. You're like, oh, it's not Banelings? Okay. May as well play Bunker Hop.
I love a game of bunker hop.
Good old bunker hop, man. My favorite game as a child.
But how good is TY at bunker hopping is the real question here.
Oh, he's probably
playing
fantastic. I would imagine he's amazing. But hold on, we have a lot of lings coming out right now.
He's going to be able to... bunkers completed too.
Yeah, they hop into that back bunker, but it should be able to be taken out with relative ease here by Snute.
Oh, one of the bunkers completes here. He's trying to stop these Marines. He gets 2 of them, 3 of them out, and even gets the last one as well. Trying to salvage the bunker for a little bit of money. He does get that. Unfortunately, he's not that good at bunker hop. Not as good as you are, Tosis, clearly.
Oh, my Marines would have hopped into the unfinished bunkers even. Well, he is going to have to go ahead and now build a bunker at home, but we do have that Baneling nest on the way.
Yeah, and there's no Marines made yet. Only 2 about to pop out. Snute sees that this is not a complete wall with the bunker being added on before. Is it a complete wall?
It is now with the bunker there. Yeah.
Okay. There is a smart gap there then. Well, the Baneling nest has been placed anyway. Snute, what are you building next?
Roaches?
Roaches.
Roaches, Banelings.
Snute
spreading his creep.
Spreading his creep to help get those roaches there a little bit faster.
Little tiny bit. Everything counts. Everything matters.
But right now, Snute has all his eggs in one basket. And hopefully is looking to burst down this front wall to victory. If this does not work, Snute is eliminated, and TY will play versus Parting in the second semi-final. Roaches have been made, but he has stopped 4 drones. He's gone back to droning, and he is incredibly far behind in that regard, remember.
Well, he's got to deal some real damage here. And you know what? With 6 drones, he can really pressure these barracks quite a bit. Be able to break through, I think.
Is he looking to break through? I mean...
Well, I think what he's going to do is sit the roaches outside and hit the barracks for a little bit, make SCVs come up, and then start trying to get SCV kills, perhaps.
Well, Snoot's not going for an all-in, even though it looked like he was going that direction. He's put down a 3rd hatchery, and he's starting to drone up.
Well, TY is not scared. He's got that 3rd command center on the way.
Interesting choice here. I really like this choice from Snute.
Yeah.
A scan goes down from TY. He's like, what the hell is going on here? He scans the natural and sees drones and drones being made.
It's just really great usage of the thickness of this wall. It's like really hard for those Marines to actually engage these roaches, which means he is going to force him to lift this or lose this eventually, which means, you know, maybe he can do a little bit of a scuffle in there.
Yeah, I mean, what the hell is TY going to play now? He can't exactly add on a tech lab anytime soon to these.
No, certainly not.
Does he go to mech from this position? He's already got Banshees and Hellions being made.
He could.
I mean, does he now add on the tech lab and reactor here as well on the barracks, or how does he play this?
Well, now that the Banshee's out, he could go ahead and get the tech lab and not be too worried about it. But the thing is, if Snute sees that and like snipes it before stim, a move like that is possibly game winning. So I'm not sure exactly what TY wants to go from here.
Well, we'll see in a moment here. Snoot's got his double evolution chamber, so he's got a big lead when it comes to the upgrades.
Yeah. No eBay's even started yet here for TY.
Yeah, so he's lifting up barracks number 1 and is placing it down. Is this where we see a tech lab added onto the barracks?
It has to be.
He's got an armory being built, which is going to be able to transform these Hellions into Hellbats for an attack, possibly, but still nothing been added onto these barracks, Autosis. It's really, really late now. It's looking so late that it is going to be mech. It has to be.
It must be. I mean, you have to get stim started ASAP if that's what you're going to go for, but I guess we'll see. In the meantime, we do have the Banshee harassing up here. Getting a few kills so far.
Okay, tech lab's down on the barracks. Everybody calm down. It's not mech.
Oh. Well, I'll certainly calm down. Yeah.
Banshee harass has begun. And the lair only just now starting. These spore crawlers are the only way that Snoot's going to be able to see these Banshees unless their energy runs out. And now the Hellions are on the way. Hellbats are available. Snute, are you ready for this?
No, right now he only has 3 Queens, a Roach, and 19 Speedlings, so I would say no, not quite. He's not quite ready for it, but let's see what he can do.
And he goes towards his Marines, kills one of them off. He's going to try and get a second. He does not get a second Marine. A single Marine for those Zerglings. Banelings are being morphed. Additional Zerglings are trying to be built, and here comes the attack from TY.
This is pretty scary right now with those Banshees in there, especially starting to target down on these Banelings. He does not want those to pop out, and this is looking pretty bad for Snute. A good Baneling connection there, but he just doesn't really have very much right now.
No, he does not. He has more and more units being made, but Snute has to hold on. He's losing his Queens, and the Banshees are raining so much damage coming down from the skies. And Snute is in trouble at this point. It looks like eventually he's going to clear up the ground force, eventually being the key word. But the Banshees
It's too much damage, I think, Apollo. I'm a bit sad about it. You know, Snute, a fantastic player, but TY just so solid in this series. Snute trying to be very creative with how he went about things, but caught off guard by that bunker rush. Had to let his natural get canceled, and it's spiraled out of control into what we see here.
19 drones down, and Snute is getting stopped in another quarterfinals here at the Intel Extreme Masters. He's down in supply. He's trying his very, very best to hold on, but he's taking critical damage to his economy, and it is looking like we are going to see TY move forward. He's just rallying over units, waypointing over units, getting the damage done. It looks like Snute has weathered the storm, but he has taken incredible amounts of losses.
Yeah, you know, I feel like this overall series, and especially this game, Snute is going to be very frustrated with, especially if it ends here like this. I mean, a fantastic player. He had very good plans going in, caught off guard, a few misplays here and there. Even got the good end of build orders this game, and it didn't work out. He just... Nothing going right for Snute here today. Where
there's a will, there's a way, Artosis. And Snute's going to hang on and attempt a recovery.
Well, you know what? It is a gigantic map. This is the type of map that Snute could theoretically come back on.
Yep. He's got his economy almost back online, equaling his opponents, but is still trailing a little bit with that. As you can see, no gas has been taken on these bases, no Spire down, no Mutalist production beginning.
You know, on top of all this, he took so much damage in that natural. Like, a lot of Zergs I know would have just GG'd right there, to be honest.
Yeah.
What does he do to truly come back and win this game against TY? What is the play? Do you go into some sort of crazy attack? Do you do a different type of tech? Do you try to play the macro game? What is it?
Well, he's not chosen the Spire still, so he's only on Zergling Banelings at this point. And that's all he's building from this point on.
Sling Bane. 2-2 Ling Bane, hey.
Maybe the upgrade advantage.
1-1. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And if he can overrun the third base, that may be the way he gets himself back into this one. But let's see, as right now he has to defend against this multiple medevac drop, and also 3 Banshees heading towards the third base.
Well, he does have quite a few Queens right now, but they are kind of busy over here helping out. Cannot lose that hatch.
The Queen's so slow getting over there. He does have transfuses to help out.
All right, well, he will go ahead and save it, so that's good. Yeah. Maybe pick one off. No, not quite.
Baneling speed only just now started too. That's something a little bit late, but here comes another attack from TY, and these slow Banelings just not going to really cut it here against these units, especially when TY's moving 2 Hellbats forward to target them down.
Indeed, taking a lot of damage there before he even can engage, but a nice pickup here. Really abusing the fact that there aren't any Mutalisks on the map.
Yeah, and now 3 Banshees inside the main base, still causing havoc, while TY sits off creep. He finds the Evolution Chambers, but it doesn't matter anymore about these guys.
Yeah, he's not going to 3-3 this game, Apollo, and he doesn't need his ranged attack either.
No, he does not. TY keeps up the pressure. Remember, while all this is going on, TY does have that +2 attack on its way and continues to be very efficient in his trades. Great Widowmine hit, a good second one as well. And look at the position in the Marines there, getting a lot of damage down. He stims back away from these Banelings and spreads as well. And that's an absolutely wonderful move there from TY, and he continues to rally more and more over. He has Snute by the throat.
Indeed,
and this is not good.
Well, we have Baneling speed about to finish, 30 Lings on the way, but he just doesn't have anything really out right now. He has like 7 Banelings and 10 Lings. That should not be quite enough, but that's a lot of Queens as well. Maybe Snute can hold on a bit longer.
Yeah, it's a lot of Queens, but we'll see if he can hold on. More and more Marines coming up here as TY looks for his first semi-final at his debut tournament, remember, at the Intel Extreme Masters. Straight towards the semi-finals for the young Korean.
We'll see if Snute can do anything about this. Starting to push forward a little bit with these Lings. Still has that upgrade advantage, but +2 is going to be finishing, attack-wise at least, for TY relatively soon here.
Another scan getting rid of the creep that Snute is desperately trying to spread to assist with his army engagements. A final warp-in, or morph-in, should I say, from Snute as he tries to get a Baneling squad ready to combat this. Pressure continues, and that upgrade advantage is going to be eliminated in the next 10 seconds with +2 attack being completed. And TY continues to hold this wonderful stranglehold position on his opponent. Snute survives for now.
And I mean, he's making some hatcheries, right? He's finally going to be going up to... wait a second.
He's replacing the leg, because it was on the natural there, which he just lost.
I'm like, finally going up. Wait a minute, bailing speed. What are we? Okay, anyways, but he is taking another base. If he can get that up and mining, that's going to be nice. But just like in the previous 2 games, it's been 3 base versus 3 base for quite some time. This is just so rough for poor Snute.
Yeah,
he's down by so much supply, and like the thing is, he's going Ling Bane too, where you don't really want to be down supply going Ling Bane.
No, you don't. And TY has a position on the 4th base with Marines on the high ground. And also still has his main army here, which is going to put Widow Mines in a better position again. Spreading these units, clearing creep, dropping onto the natural, and it's so very, very frustrating having to fight on a high ground and low ground for Snute, especially when there's so much protection for these guys around.
Well, right now we do have these queens pushing over, trying to deal with this. Snute just doing anything he can to stay alive for now.
Just get a cancel on his opponent's 4th.
That's something at least. Yeah, I mean, and this plan just isn't coming together right now for him. It's so rough. He just keeps losing all the lings that he makes each time. And what he really wants to do here, guys, is to get a huge, massive Ling Bane, crush an army, and get one of TY's expansions, and it's just not going to happen.
Snute has to find a way to turn this around, otherwise this is going to be a 3-0 closeout for both of the Europeans in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and the other non-Korean as well, Shy.
Shy also, yep. Korean domination here at the Intel Extreme Masters, as always. And Snute comes around for another counter-attack, and TY has retreated with his forces to come deal with this.
Well, this is a nice little attack. Going to be able to clean up quite a few units, but he's going to have to retreat now that he sees these, I would say. Well, he keeps going, but going to lose all those lings because of it.
Nice pick up there from TY, save some of these. And leaving the Marauders behind to make sure he can deal with the leftover Banelings, which he does.
Still dealing some damage. A bunch of lings about to pop out, so he will save this base.
Again, Snute not willing to give up. He knows that a lot of his fans and everyone, of course, watching this right now, hoping that he can do it. He's not going to give up for you guys. He's continuing to fight. Spire now placed down. Maybe if he can start to buy himself some time. He's got so much gas in the bank. If he could get up towards the Spire, get these Mutalists in the game, obviously going to be very, very helpful towards him. He slowed down TY's economy a lot on that 4th. It's a small victory. He's got a decent economy online now with his bases starting to mine across these 4. He is slowly fighting. He is slowly fighting. He's still behind majorly in supply, and when the battle actually takes place, especially with these 3-3 upgrades, that's where Snute's really going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Adding the Spire at this point, like obviously he needs mutas. These drops are just too much to deal with, but the mutas this late aren't going to do much else than clean up some medevacs. He's just not ever gaining ground. He has no, I sometimes call it long-term units. He has nothing that he's actually building upon to get any sort of advantage in this game. He's just hoping to get that one big army kill, and TY is just playing perfectly against it.
Lots of small jabs coming out here from TY. Widowmine here, drop over there, gets 8 additional drone kills in this. And here comes another 3 Widowmines.
Go ahead and burrow those, get a few kills here and there.
13 now.
More than a few.
Now, I noticed Koreans very, very good at sending multiple medivacs with Widowmines throughout the game here to slow the economy down, which is working out fantastically. But 17 Mutalists now are finally out. Snute can start to deal with these. He's got good creep spread, remember, in the center of the map, which will assist in the eventual battle he must take as TY gets closer and closer towards 200 supply.
Widowmine hit on those mutas, unfortunately.
Yeah, the world's hope here. Snute hanging on by a...
The world's hope.
The world's hope here, Autosis. Hanging on by...
not part of the world.
No, he's not. No.
Certainly not.
Hanging on by a piece of string, though, at this moment.
Yeah, by a thread. Like, I wouldn't have blamed him for saying GG after the Hellbat attack in the natural. He was so far behind. But he's done a good job fighting back, considering the unit comp that he's using, and... I mean, this is so rough. Just continues to lose drones all over the place.
I mean, we saw what he did in game number 1 with the Mutalisk. I mean, he's got a good economy. He's up to 5 bases. He needs to make these work for him. Once again, he's going to come into this 3rd base. He's going to find a turret here. Remember, because the Spire's so late, he does not have any upgrades on them. So, very difficult to actually challenge any of these turrets. We have a drop to the right-hand side, and now the army movement through the middle.
Yeah, and I want to point out he's actually even getting building armor, so... I mean, those turrets are...
Not going to die.
He is not planning on letting Snute do what he did in game 1, that's for sure.
Drop here on the natural, going to try and do a little bit, but unfortunately Snute already had some units there positioned. Also a drop on the 5th base, which Snute is going to have to clear.
And he's going to have to get over there pretty quickly as well. Yeah. Not the rest of the drop here in his main base, as we see. Meantime, TY just kind of clearing out creep in the middle of the map. He knows he's still got plenty of time to finish this game off. His upgrades are just having him so far ahead here.
Fifth base goes down.
That's really tough.
All the creep spread in the middle now being cleared up to make this much easier for TY to move around in. Also denies vision of where exactly TY's full army is. He's spread out in the middle expecting a fight from Snute, who I think is gearing ready for one. He does have multiple units in multiple locations. He's waiting for TY to go through that center point where he can come around from multiple angles, and here we go.
Well, he has a big flank coming in right now. Lings from almost every side. He's starting to kill the front half of the army, but he's losing way too much, and as TY's reinforcements come up, he has to run.
He has to run. He's got to retreat back to more banelings to be morphed. Snute is going to have to build up another force to fight this, but they're being morphed right in front of TY, and he's going to grill these down, and he does. And this is not looking too good for Snute. He's on the back foot, and TY very close to his first ever semi-final. And it will be at the Intellectuary Masters here in Shenzhen.
It's a big moment for TY. He's just got to finish peeling the layers of Snute's onion here. Snute very much like a Protoss in that regard. Very hard to kill.
Here comes the last stand.
Effort this game.
The last stand from Snute. Is he going to be able to clean this up? He gets on top of the Thors. His Mucilis doing a lot of work at the back here. And he is starting to push this back. There's hardly any Marines left, and the Mucilis are going to keep him alive for now, Artosis.
Indeed they are. Taking a lot of damage on him. Still a Thor in here, getting a lot of damage put on him. Picked up quite a few medevacs as well, but losing that base.
Hatchery. A lot of Marines doing damage to these Mucilis.
Well, Snute's going to try to make it happen with the mutas once again.
And he's taken another big blow, though, losing that hatchery. Goes into the center of the map, takes another hit from Widowmines, and there's so many Marines left as TY continues to just throw units at Snute.
Well, Snute going to continue to throw his mutas into those units, but he's going to have to run if he wants to keep them alive at this point.
Yeah, he's only got 16 of them left. He goes in for another fight here. Zergling's chasing these down, and Widowmine does a lot of damage to TY's units there, and TY is being pushed all the way home here. TY currently only has 7 Marines on the map. A Thor is placed here, a Widowmine gets a good shot off, and Snute continues the onslaught.
If Snute could make something happen with this, maybe rally right in on top of the barracks or something, like, I think that might be the only way he could possibly win this game. Only 10 Marines out right now, only 1 medevac out.
And 16 Zerglings on the way, and TY is absolutely stunned by this. I cannot believe my eyes at this point as Snute has pushed him from the 3rd hatchery all the way to his side of the map. And TY is trying to gather his forces, even bringing in SCVs, and Snute launches himself at TY again here. Snute has been so resilient throughout this series. Can he push his resilience to a victory? This is absolutely incredible, but TY again gathers enough units and will push Snute back. What a move from Snute.
I can't believe that he even gave himself an inkling of a chance there. He has been in such a terrible spot basically all game long here.
Yeah.
And to get it to a place where if you just had like twice as many Lings, you might win? What?
It looks like Snute's going to continue to try and do what he's been doing. He morphs in more Banelings. He's going to continue to add in Zerglings, and he's going to go for another attempt at this. This is the only way he can turn this around. TY, if he needs his 3-0, and he does, has to hold on just for a couple more minutes, and he moves to the semi-final. Snute goes in again. Banelings this time. Widowmine does not get the best of hits, and the Mucilis go for the Medivacs again, and TY on the back foot, but it looks like he should have enough here. He has 10 Marines building at a single time.
That is some real macro going on from TY right now. We just need more units from Snute, but his production is so poor.
Yeah,
He's lost so many drones, so many hatcheries this game.
So much money from TY as well. He's just mining all over the map at this point. Snute gets pushed back again, and from what seemed like it could have been a way. He's losing a lot of units in the middle of the map to these Widowmines. It could have been a way for Snute to draw this around, but not anymore, Altosis. 28 Marines out.
The production is too good. The economy is too good. The upgrades are too good here. Snute continues to battle on because he just doesn't give up, but it's almost time for him to do so.
Yeah, TY keeps scanning on the other side of the map. He's like, how is he doing this? I'm sure TY was worried for a little bit there. That was a scary moment.
Well, if he had lost that, I think he would need to watch the replay. Be like, how?
Yeah.
What?
That was...
Why?
That would have been incredible, but Snoot's going to go for it again. 2 Widow Mines at the front. Deal quite a bit of damage. TY picks up and retreats back to where everyone else. And there is a lot of Marines here, and I think this is going to be the last stand here for Snute. He goes in but gets absolutely brutalized this time. And TY is going to take it 3-0 and moves through to the semi-finals. And he will play against Parting, but a magnificent performance from TY.
Yeah, fantastic play, truly, from TY. This is definitely a guy you got to watch out for. I don't think this is going to be a roll coming up from Parting. In the meantime, Snute, I think he's going to be very upset with how he played this series. I know he's going to be very upset with him.
Yeah,
He expects a lot out of himself. There were some fantastic, brilliant moments from Snute, but it wasn't, he didn't quite have what he normally has there, and that could have possibly given him a victory.
But it is TY who moves forward to represent Zerg as well, Artosis, because he's the only non-Protoss left in this tournament, and he must challenge Parting to then challenge either Hero or Classic in the finals.
That is right. And can he do it? Maybe. Recently, he has been just destroying the best Protosses in the world in the leagues in Korea. So definitely someone who has a real shot. But to hear from him now, see what he thinks his chances might be, we do have him at the desk. Chobra, let's talk to Ty.
Thank you very much, Artosis. Yes, we are here, of course. Congratulations to Ty. 일단 4강 진출 축하드립니다, 전태영 선수. 저희 지금 이제 인터뷰를 잠깐 할 텐데 저희 지금 3대0으로 이겼지만 마지막 맵에서 조금 힘들었던 것 같아요. 끝에 가서 충분히 이겨야 되는 게임 같았는데 거기서 뭐 좀 어려웠나요? 아니면 그래도 그냥 좀 방심하지 않으려고 그러셨나요?
사실 제가 업그레이드도 좋고 조합 자체가 워낙 좋아가지고 그냥 약간 좀 방심한 면이 있어요. 그냥 그러니까 병영을 다 랠리를 상대 스누트 선수 앞마당 쪽으로 다 찍어가지고 그냥 어거지로 끝내려고 했는데 생각보다 굉장히 뒷심이 세더라고요, 스누트 선수가. 그래가지고 정말 깜짝 놀랐고 이제 제 앞마당까지 이제 병력이 온 순간 그때 좀 집중을 좀 다시 해가지고 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
Yeah, so, you know, in that third game, yeah, it did get drawn out a little bit. I think I got a little bit overconfident, actually, when I was just, you know, making sure all my Rax units were going to his base. I was just making sure I was just trying to force the win. I don't think I calculated that perfectly. Maybe I should have taken a step back. And then when he pushed back to my natural, I got a little worried. So then I had to take it a lot slower to make sure I secured the win. Now, of course, he has a semifinal coming up. We have 2 semifinals and a final coming up. So we do want to move through. But, Pig, I know you've been watching the game. I mean, what do you think? A pretty fun series for sure, TvZ here.
Really back and forth. I actually wanted to ask Ty's thoughts on game 1, the burrowed banelings all over the place. So hard on Bridgehead as well. I really wanted to hear Ty's thoughts on Bridgehead, burrowed banelings. Did he feel like that forced him into a very hard spot? It felt like he was under a lot of pressure there.
저희가 그러면 이번 첫 경기에서는 좀 오히려 또 스누트 선수가 이제 베일링 사용해가지고 브리지헤드에서 정말 좀 어렵게 게임을 만들었어요. 계속 그 맵에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시는지, 그리고 거기서 저그가 그런 식으로 게임을 계속 이끌어 나갈 수 있다는 거에 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요?
제가 첫 경기 하면서 굉장히 유리하다고 생각했는데 제 뒷마당 쪽에 돌이 깨지면서 방어해야 될 공간이 너무 많더라고요. 그러면서 또 스누트 선수가 잠복맹독충을 해가지고 여기저기 좀 이득을 보는 거를 보면서 좀 맵 파악을 되게 잘했구나 생각을 했고, 이렇게 하면 정말 까다롭다고 생각을 많이 하면서 했던 것 같아요. 게임 내내 계속.
Yeah, you know, first of all, I think the biggest thing there was that when he broke the rocks, you know, behind my base, suddenly I just had to defend on too many sides. But then throughout the game, I agree. You know, I was just thinking, man, if Zergs can play like Snute does on this map, using those burrow banelings, it's really annoying. It's going to be frustrating for anyone who goes up against it. That's all I could think about during that first map.
I definitely enjoyed the series. Thought it was very fun, especially the little comic moment when Snute forgot about his banelings in game 1 and he was standing on top of it. But we don't have to talk about that too much. I just kind of want to ask him, you know, I'm always amazed. We see TY play or Ty on the first day and he looked a little sloppy against Zerg, and we truly, genuinely believe, wow, Snute should be able to give him a run for his money. And now suddenly he just brings a whole nother level of play, you know, the quarterfinal start, and he turns into a monster. Can he explain this? Why does he look so much stronger now than he did 2 days ago?
그러면 저희가 그 첫날은 조금 저그전에서 오히려 조금 더 힘겼다는 것처럼 저희가 봤어요, 경기를. 그 전태양 선수가 특별히 그 황가은 선수 상대로. 근데 오늘은 그래서 저희가 다 얘기를 할 때는 스누트 선수가 오늘 오히려 좀 기회를 잡아볼 수 있을 것 같다, 그런 예감이 있었거든요. 근데 오늘 경기에서는 뭐 3대0 결국에는 아무튼 스코어를 봤을 때는 완승을 하셨잖아요. 뭐 그 이틀 사이에 뭔가 특별히 바뀐 부분이 있나요?
제가 좀 황강호 선수한테 좀 약해요. 그래가지고 좀 그때는 졌던 것 같고, 또 순투 선수가 또 워낙 좀 안정적으로 하시더라고요. 실력이 자신 있어가지고. 그래서 첫 번째부터 그러니까 모든 경기를 제가 좀 주도할 수 있었던 것 같아요. 부유하게 갈 수도 있었고, 상대를 이렇게 초반에 찔러가지고 주도권을 잡고 갈 수도 있었고, 그래가지고 그래서 좀 선택권이 많아서 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요. 서로 이렇게 5대5로 갔을 때는 제가 굉장히 힘들었을 것 같아요. 5대5로 갔으면.
아, 네, 알겠습니다. 저희 yeah, in that matchup generally against Lucia, first of all, I think I have some trouble. Player matchup wise, yeah, I mean we talked about that too. Obviously, that matchup, the record isn't in favor of TY, so. I think that's one thing. Also, against Snute, I noticed he likes to play super safe. I mean, he has a lot of faith in his own skill. So then my idea was, well, okay, so I have to play from the very first match. I have to play in a way where I always have the ball in my court. I have to be the aggressor. I have to make sure that he's always reacting, because if he gets to play his own game, he will play the long game. He'll go for, you know, just the steady, the very stable Zerg play that he's known for, and I don't want to deal with that. And because he had that mindset, he comes in, he takes the win. So TY now moving on to semifinals. Of course, congratulations again. We'll be going up against Parting. Not going to be the easiest of matches, but will be fireworks for sure.
Really quick question, because I know obviously we want to do all the games and we're on a tight schedule over here, but his last 3 official matches against Protoss, he has beat Rain, he's beat Stats, he's beat Trap.
That's a good point.
You know, those guys are gods as well among Protoss. Does that give him like a lot of confidence going into this series?
그럼 저희가 마지막으로 이제 원희삭 선수 상대로 해야 되고, 만약에 결승까지 가면 또 프로토스전을 하셔야 되는데, 최근에 마지막 그 세 경기를 보면 프로토스 상대로 정말 잘 알려진 선수들 상대로 한국에서 승리를 거두셨어요. 그 부분이 오히려 좀 더 자신감이 더 생기시나요?
대회 때는 좀 저그전이 굉장히 힘들어요. 그래가지고 스누트 선수만 좀 이길 굉장히 좀 고비라고 생각을 했거든요. 근데 그러니까 좀 저그전을 넘었으니까 앞으로는 좀 그나마 좀 쉬운 프로토스전이라, 상대가 좀 워낙 강한 테란전에 강한 원희삭 선수지만 열심히 하면은 이길 수 있지 않을까 생각해요.
네. You know, overall, I think my hardest matchups in tournaments, at the very least, when I look back, is against Zergs. It's my TvZ that I have the most trouble with. So I came in thinking if I can beat Snute, I can relax a little bit. I can play my own game. I can play a little bit more in my comfort zone. Of course, Parting known to do well against Terrans. I mean, overall, all 3 Protoss that are left, they're very good players. But I always thought Snute was going to actually be my hardest opponent going on forward in the playoffs. So I'm feeling a lot more confident going to the semifinals. Once again, thank you, TY, for joining us here on the desk. Congratulations for moving on to the semifinal. Ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to this, the round of 4, only 4 players left. Who will be the champion in Shenzhen? Who will be the first title holder in Season 10 of the Intel Extreme Masters? It's time to find out after this break. If you missed any of our games, TY just had a good fight against Snute. Go check out Plays.tv to catch the highlights. When we return, it will be Hero versus Classic.